I'm burning.
Welcome back to Banging the Can, the Houston sports show that does not apologize for championship rings and tings, presented by Bolen Media, with new episodes dropping every Monday and Friday. I am Ross Bolen, and last night the Houston Rockets beat the Memphis Grizzlies 124-109 to extend their winning streak to 5 games and take their record to 5 wins, 2 losses on the season, which puts them in a tie for the Southwest Division lead thus far. And this one against the Grizzlies came without Steven Adams, who is dealing with a hip flexor issue, but that is exactly why the Rockets brought back Clint Capella in the offseason, and Capella was able to secure 10 rebounds, 4 of which were offensive in this game. Capella can still defend at an elite level. He can still rebound at an elite level. And as important as Steven Adams is to this team, Clint Capella now plays a crucial role to help manage Steven Adams' load. Pause. Ime Thompson went off with 28 points on 50% shooting, plus 10 rebounds and 7 assists. Looks like a legit potential all-star. Alperen Sengun had 20 points, 16 boards, and 7 assists himself. Kevin Durant had an off night shooting-wise, only tallying 11 points on 5 for 18 shooting. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. And that's one of the things that has become abundantly clear through 7 games that makes this Rockets team so dangerous. They don't need Kevin Durant to score 30 in order to blow teams out. In these 5 consecutive wins, Kevin Durant has scored 11, 21, 26, 31, and 19 points. He's averaging 24 points per game so far this season, which is nothing to shake your dick at. He's still the leading scorer on the team, which should shock absolutely no one. But the point is, the Rockets don't need KD to drop 30 in order for the team to bury their opposition with an onslaught of scoring. 137-109, 139-121, 128-101, 110-102, 124-109. That's the last 5 games right there. Right there. And as I said, after watching every preseason game, even without Fred VanVleet, even without a point guard in the starting lineup, I think these Rockets are going to kick the shit out of most of the teams that they play this season. The offense is simply too stacked. And the defense, even without Fred VanVleet, is still a nightmare for other teams to deal with. Maybe even more so. There's just too much length, too much height, too much agility, and athleticism. Again, they've got the number 1 offense in the NBA, scoring 125 points per game as things sit right now. Alperen Sengun has elevated his game on both sides of the ball. He's unstoppable, demands a double team every time he's in the post, or he is getting a bucket. Alperen is averaging over 22 points a game so far. No doubt all-star, possibly an MVP candidate, depending on how things develop over the course of the season. Sengun has become everything those of us who were paying attention early in his career hoped he would grow into. Alperen Sengun has been nothing short of fantastic through 7 games this season. Ime Thompson continues to prove himself as one of the most athletic players in the league. He's averaging over 18 points a game so far himself. The dude is just an absolute freak. There was a sequence against the Mavs where he missed a free throw, got his own rebound, dished it to Sengun, who threw him an alley-oop, which he reversed for the score, and it was truly insane. If you did not get the chance to see that play yet, you got to go find the highlight reel. Jabari Smith Jr. has been a lot more confident with the ball in his hands, really coming into his own and averaging 15 points per game himself. Tari Eason has found his shooting stroke during this winning streak, and after this season, Tari will be a restricted free agent, so he's in money-making mode. The team has enough scoring. As such, Kevin Durant is as relaxed as I have seen him since his days with the Warriors super team, with whom he won back-to-back titles and back-to-back NBA Finals MVPs. He knows he doesn't have to exert as much energy on offense. He's able to let the ball find him more naturally in the flow of things. He's not having to force shit. He's got more energy to expend on defense as a result. We're only 7 games in, but anyone who complained about trading Jalen Green for this guy should already be able to see why that was a no-fucking-brainer. Kevin Durant on his worst night is still as good as Jalen Green on one of his best nights. There's a reason he's a two-time champion and two-time finals MVP. Kade is that dude. He is still that dude, and he seems to fit in perfectly with this Rockets team so far. Completely content, completely bought in, completely dominating his role, which is even more impressive when you consider the fact that he's doing it while he's high as a kite. So the Rockets have the number 1 net rating in the NBA, number 1 offensive rating, and the number 6 defensive rating so far. So it's not like their defense has fallen off a cliff. The Houston Texans are known for their swarm defense, but this Rockets team is swarming as well. Doubling, switching, running all over the place defensively. It's been a beautiful sight to behold. They are also the number 1 rebounding team in the NBA, which has been absolutely huge for putting their foot down and not allowing teams to claw their way back into games, because even when they are missing shots, they're creating second and third chance opportunities offensively, whereas the opposition is usually one and done on the offensive end themselves, because Alperen Sengun, Steven Adams, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., and Clint Capella are all gobbling up boards. There is just such a great balance on this team, on both sides of the ball, ensuring there's not ever too much pressure on any one player to do any one thing. Everything comes in the flow of the game. Nothing is forced. It's beautiful basketball. It's invaluable having two guys who demand double teams on offense. A real pick your poison situation for defenses, because you have to double Alperen Sengun. You have to at this point. You absolutely have to double Sengun. If you do not double Sengun, he is getting a good look, if not a completely open one. He's just too fast and too strong and too good in the paint at this point. And now he's got range. He's shooting the three-pointer efficiently. So you have to double Sengun. You have to double Kevin Durant because he's Kevin fucking Durant. And it doesn't even matter. They're both going to bend you over a barrel regardless. I love it. I fucking love it. And when those two guys are running a two-man game, it's like I feel like I'm having a little treat. Like we just had Halloween. I feel like I'm getting a little piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Every time Kade and Sengun run a two-man game, because there's just not really a way to stop it. It's one of those things. Every once in a while in the NBA, a team figures out a formula that is, frankly, unguardable, because these guys are too big, they're too talented, and they can't be stopped. So let's talk about Josh Okogie. Why don't we? I'm still not sure where the fuck this guy came from, Josh Okogie. Apparently we signed him to a one-year deal in July, but I don't even remember seeing Josh Okogie in the preseason. I thought he joined the team after the preseason. Maybe he was playing in the preseason and I just don't remember, or I just didn't recognize him and I figured he was probably a deep down-the-bench player that we wouldn't see much of. Regardless, Josh Okogie has been an absolutely pivotal piece of the starting lineup since joining it, and has proven himself to be one of the best offseason signings for any team, anywhere in the league. Shout out to Raphael Stone. Okogie is fantastic on defense. He has improved his three-point shooting as well. He's over 50% behind the arc so far this season. Shockingly, the Rockets are now the number 1 three-point shooting team in the league. 42.7% behind the arc. That's number 1 in the league. They're not shooting them that often, taking what the defense gives them for the most part, but when they do fire up the long ball, it's wet 42.7% of the time. Huge shout out to Josh Okogie, who fits perfectly into Ime Udoka's style of basketball and has been awesome for the Rockets so far this season. Reed Sheppard, we have to talk about Reed. Still hasn't really blossomed into the point guard we all hope he will become one day, but one thing I've noticed is that he seems so much more comfortable playing against the opposition's second team. When Sheppard is out there against the starters, he struggles, and it's very, very, very noticeable. He looks a little overwhelmed. He makes some silly decisions. He turns the ball over too much. But when the pressure is off a little bit and he's up against the second team, he looks much more comfortable and more controlled. He's letting it fly without hesitation. Reed Sheppard is quietly shooting 42.9% from three on the season. That's very, very good. That's exactly what we want to see. And out of everyone in the rotation, Reed Sheppard is still getting the least amount of minutes of regular rotation players. He's just getting 20 minutes a game, which puts him behind everyone except for Clint Capella, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, J.D. Davison, and Jayshawn Tate. So I still believe that with time, with more experience, with more minutes under his belt, we will see Reed Sheppard's NBA game take shape. So I love this approach from Ime Udoka and Raphael Stone in the front office, everyone in the front office who has input on decisions like this. Because, like I said a couple weeks ago, you don't want to pile too much pressure onto the dude. He's 21 years old, man. He's a fucking child. So you got to let his game take shape. You've got to let him get the minutes and the experience under his belt so that he feels more and more comfortable. And it's all about confidence at this point. You can tell when Reed Sheppard feels the pressure and when he's out there with starters who have NBA experience or enough NBA talent already to really compete with NBA players, he struggles. It's like a little too much for him. But I'm telling you, watch Reed when he's out there against a second unit. He looks like, all right, it's time to eat now. This is daddy's time for dinner. He looks like that's where his comfort level is currently. So if he can get his comfort level that he has displayed against second units and take that and transfer it to a starting role, that's when we're going to see Reed Sheppard start to cook. So in my opinion, it's still just a matter of time. In the meantime, this team has elite role players like very few other Rockets teams I have ever seen before. Between Jabari, Tari, Josh Okogie, guys like Steven Adams and Clint Capella, and even Reed Sheppard. Everyone knows their role. Everyone is bought into the system. Nobody goes off trail, and nobody walks alone. All for one, and one for all. And that's where I have to stop and give credit to Ime Udoka for his vision. There is a reason people want to come to Houston and play for this guy. There is a reason he has developed the reputation he has. Developed the reputation he has as a savvy player's coach who knows winning basketball. Ime is holding guys accountable to the game plan and the team identity without big-timing anyone or jeopardizing chemistry. So it's still early, and there's no need to get ahead of ourselves, but it's hard not to imagine already that Ime Udoka could end up one of the most beloved Rockets coaches in the history of this franchise. He is that good. He's that good. He has the vision. And him and Raphael Stone are executing on that vision flawlessly. Like, it's insanely impressive. I could not be more impressed through 7 games than I am right now. I don't think I could be happier. Even if we were 7-0, what I saw out of that opening night game against the Thunder and the other loss we accrued, whatever, I was still impressed enough in those games and everything we've seen since, leads me to believe that there were big teaching moments and learning moments in those first 2 games that resulted in losses. I don't think I could be happier. I don't think I could be happier through 7 games than I am right now. Another thing we have learned through these first 7 games is there are going to be points in the season where the Rockets look like they might actually be better off without Fred VanVleet because of how much it opens up the offense, particularly for Eamon Thompson and company. But there will also be points in the season where we desperately miss Fred's veteran leadership and ability to slow the ball down and make the right decisions in crunch time, especially at the end of games. So we're gonna have a little column A and a little column B. It's gonna be matchup dependent for the most part, and we probably shouldn't overreact as fans one way or the other. We all saw what Fred VanVleet brings to the table during the last 2 seasons, okay? There's no doubt can be cast on what FVV brings to this Houston Rockets team. But one of the things I hoped for when he went down with injury in the offseason was that there would be a silver lining, that the team would have to learn how to control the ball, how to bring it up the court, how to get in the offensive rhythm without a veteran championship point guard. And that would basically put them in a position where they have to shit or get off the pot. Either learn to protect the basketball and limit turnovers and get into the flow of the offense effectively, or you're going to lose games. And it was a little wonky here and there the first few games, but especially during this last 5, every one of which they've won, there were fewer and fewer moments where I found myself praying that Fred would somehow heal more quickly from his knee surgery than it is expected. So, like I said, don't overreact one way or the other. There are going to be points where you're like, I don't know, maybe we don't need Fred. Maybe Fred is a good trade piece. And there are going to be points where you're like, holy shit, we badly need a point guard. Usually, the latter is going to come against the best teams in the league, like the Thunder, for example, where, God almighty, did we miss Fred during that one. So, as things stand, at the very least, I feel our expectations should be for this Rockets team to be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. Like, I don't think the Lakers can maintain the hot start they've achieved. The Lakers don't really scare me. I don't think the Nuggets or the Spurs or the Trailblazers or the Warriors are better than this Rockets team in the long run. I don't. I think a top 3 seed is the expectation, and really the biggest factor there, health. Health is going to be paramount. They have to keep Kevin Durant healthy, goes without saying, but they also have to keep Steven Adams healthy. And I don't worry too much about the younger guys, besides maybe Tari Eason, who has had some injury issues. But if they can stay healthy, this is a very, very good basketball team that's going to win an awful lot of games. And if we're being real, this team needs to win now. We need to get a ship in the next couple seasons because Victor Wembanyama is coming. And Cooper Flagg might not be far behind him. Our division is on the verge of becoming one of the best, if not the best, in basketball with the amount of insane young all-star talent that is packed into it. That will do it for today's show. Remember, we have new episodes dropping every Monday and Friday on youtube.com/@bangingthecan, as well as all the podcast platforms. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, turn on notifications. Leave me a comment. What have you seen in the Rockets games that you have been lucky enough to watch so far this season? Through 7 games, what have you seen that gets you excited? What have you seen that gets you concerned? Throw out one of your favorite moments from the season so far, preferably one that I didn't already touch on, so that we can all appreciate it together. Hit me in the comments section, subscribe, like, turn on notifications. If you're on YouTube, I appreciate you so much. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating, write us a quick review. If you're on Spotify watching or listening, give us a 5-star rating. And on that note, please share the most unapologetic Houston sports show in existence with your friends and family. All the Rockets fans you know, all the Texans fans you know, tell them about our show. It helps us to grow. Follow us on social media at Banging the Can, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Threads. I'm Ross Bolen. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WRBolen, WRBOLEN. And I'll be back Monday to discuss the results of Texans-Jaguars. So until next time, H-Town, stay down.